the NASCAR inspection station where templates are going on. Eric Jones, number 77. The big claw template. And the template itself, the silver pieces, those go on every car. Then each manufacturer, you can see, has specific labeled pieces for the contours of that individual body. But where those silver templates hit, those are commonized aerodynamic sensitive points on the body that are common to all three manufacturers.
And these teams have this same contraption at their race shop. And so when they get to the racetrack, NASCAR expects them to fit these templates. And I don't know, Larry had mentioned that there was maybe a discrepancy in the templates that this team felt like they had at their race shop versus what they're seeing here at the racetrack.
The toughest part on that silver part of that template, there are about 7 what they call hard points. Has to touch the body. No tolerance whatsoever.
If I had to guess, Larry, that has not changed.
Yeah.
So they should not be off in those areas.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. to 10th on the speed chart. In his Hendrick Chevrolet, Clint Boyer has jumped up to 3rd. So it's Trevor Bayne's Ford, Matt Kenseth's Toyota, Clint Boyer's Ford, the top 3, then Stenhouse and Keselowski.
You know what stands out to me right now, Mike? How close the times are. Look how tight this is. 46.8 at the top with Trevor Bayne, but you go all the way down here to 13th, and it's still 40 in the 46s at a 46.98. That is really competitive.
And I'd imagine that big claw template has a lot to do with that.
Yes,
this
it
track
does.
being so fast and so aerosensitive, that all of those common aerodynamic points, even though there is a lot of area for each manufacturer to have their own body shape identity, as you see this Ford Fusion, those common aero points mean a lot. Here's what Jeff was talking about. Look how tight this is. 13/100ths of a second separate the top 10.
So you think, well, where do we find an advantage? Obviously, in the engine department, every manufacturer is pushing the limits as much as they can, but they're under a lot of the same tolerances, just like that claw. They're under those same types of rules with the engine. So, you know, we say one manufacturer might have a little bit of an edge over another, whether it be in power or aerodynamics. We are talking the finest amount.
But you use the key word, Jeff. Under. There are no templates under the car.
That's true.
Well,
the underbody of the car. You're right.
You think about your former crew chief, and I always paid attention to your car because it was usually pretty well what I call detailed out. And it's the details. It's the little things. The big things, everybody gets those. It's those little bitty things you do. The paint, clear coat the car. Trim the letters on the tires that they'll let you. All the little bitty things that that you can do that will give you that just few extra hundreds.
When you remember, DW, there used to be something big you would do. Something in the motor, something that hides that spoiler. You could get away some big things several years ago. Now it's so tight and the tolerances are so small that now it's about the hundreds of things that you can do to the car, and everything adds up once you focus on all that detail.
Yep. Now you focused on the 24. Could it be that the 24 has won the pole for the last 2 Daytona 500s? Different drivers, same team.
Yeah, that car's been fast on these restrictor plate races for quite a while.
Well, and this brings up a whole other subject. We talk about speed, right? Less drag, more power. How are we going to get on the front row or the pole for the Daytona 500? But let's not forget, then all of a sudden we're going to pull the tape off this front grille. We got to go race. We have to have a car that handles well. So what these crew chiefs and engineers are really battling with is how do you get the car fast for qualifying, but also have it handling well once you go into the race.
I remember last year when Chase won the pole and Jeff was over here for the first time, and he looked at me and he says, well, I guess it wasn't the driver.
Oh, come on.
Well, I always knew at Daytona it wasn't when it came to qualifying.
Chase Elliott currently 14th.
Well, and to kind of go further with that, we've got a slower car high here. Not sure who that is, but
not sure if that was contact or just somebody coasting in.
But that's
pretty slow.
Big discrepancy in speeds.
Yeah.
But what I was going to, that's Stenhouse. Oh, no, sorry, Danica Patrick.
Yeah, it's Danica. Looks like she's out of, it's not underpowered, doesn't look like.
No, you're absolutely right. So going back to the Hendrick side, those cars, they had some issues with the cars coming around on them. We saw it happen, Chase Elliott here in Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. happened to Alex Bowman in Talladega when he was filling in. So I think that there was certainly a big push for, guys, we got to make sure that we're not just fast in qualifying, that we have a car that handles and drives really well in the race.
Yeah, well, you can cover that rear spoiler up and make your car pretty fast, but when you get ready to race, you want all that blade showing and getting much downforce on the back of that thing as you can handle.